Welcome to Ease the Load. Coming up on today's show, moving beyond the classroom with video conferencing, sharing plans and policies between schools on the computer, and how a full-scale collaboration between heads and teachers at 2 schools has benefited everyone involved. Support from other schools can be really valuable when it comes to getting the most out of your lessons. I've come to a school in Luton today to take a look at a video conferencing system, Networking Schools. Icknield High is a specialist art college and is justifiably proud of its students' work. But how can you best share your work and techniques with other schools? The solution is video conferencing.
We're going to be linking up with a school in Milton Hall, called Milton Hall Technology College.
Right, and what are you aiming to get out of the lesson?
Just to transfer ideas, swap different ideas, different techniques. The students can talk to each other, and also I can talk about the work that we produced.
And cross-hatching is quite a good way for shading. You see, because if you press lightly, it makes it look lighter, but if it's darker, it looks fainter.
So about your piece of work, was that all yours, or was that a joint effort with another pupil?
We were in groups of 3 or 4, and we produced it on a piece of paper, and then we just made our ideas.
Meanwhile, over in science, the students are doing some research for another video conference. This is led by visiting astrobiologist Dr. McPhail, who is also supervising the work, so taking the load off science teacher Alan Frank. This conference is taking it one step further as 3 schools will be involved at the same time. Dr. McPhail sees this exchange of ideas as an important step forward in teaching.
The video conference is mixing all the different ideas and approaches to studying the same thing. What I'm trying to do is actually introduce these students to different ways of looking at science, make science more interesting. In this particular project, we're actually focusing on looking for life on Mars. Would Gable Hall like to comment now, please?
Has the terrain been affected by a wind erosion?
What's your evidence for that?
We have pictures of angular stone.
Yeah.
And this could mean that the wind has affected it and ground it down, so the stones could be angular. That's one idea, yes.
It seems that the wind exposed them and could be affected by airline sedimentation.
That's it, I think.
That is.
Yeah, thanks very much.
A new system involves some financial outlay. You'll need a webcam or video camera and a screen, either a projector, a TV, an interactive whiteboard, or even a computer will do. The most important thing is the link. Broadband or ISDN is vital. But as a teaching tool, it is priceless.
I think we've learned a lot more than it would be normal in a classroom.
Yeah, it's useful to hear the opinions of people from other schools who've been researching separate from us.
I think listening to the expert as well, because he specialises in that certain thing, so we can learn more about it.
As well as the children, the teachers of the 3 schools involved are getting the benefit of Dr. McPhail's specialist knowledge. And that's not all. There are time savings to be made. A Year 9 class is having a virtual history trip. Instead of a whole day's visit to the National Archive, they're taking part in a video conference with the archive here at school, which can be done in an hour.
The experts at the National Archive are showing pupils some sources from Belsen and from Auschwitz, and these are sources that wouldn't normally be available.
And how are they sharing ideas?
They're showing their children some aerial photographs,
right.
And the idea is that how documents like that are generated and whether they're reliable or not.
Despite being in its early stages, the system looks like it's going to get bigger and better.
It's going to enhance the curriculum, and that will gradually grow and grow as more and more schools, we hope, will come online with this one and develop their own video conferencing.
Video conferencing at Icknield is a high priority. We see it as a way of expanding the awareness of our pupils.
So far, the pilot project seems to be going down very well indeed.
It helps the teachers considerably because the children are motivated. They love the new technology, they feel at home with it, and of course they like seeing themselves on a big screen and know that they have an audience.
This is my
observations work.
Once you've got parental consent for involving children in video conferencing, the system provides further possibilities. Conferences can be recorded and streamed across schools, so enhancing the curriculum on a wider scale.
It's the networking between the schools which is going to be vital for the future. It's not just about being an isolationist community, it's not just about doing things on our own. It's really a case of saying, let's pull these things in together, let's try and use the best talents of our best teachers from across the UK so that our students have the access to make the progress they actually want to make and need to make for the future of our society.
Many schools have a computer system in place to allow others to access such things as lesson plans or school development plans. Cornwall LEA has taken the concept one step further to give this kind of access to a group of local schools.
I was a class teacher in a small primary school in Huddersfield, and I loved teaching but just hated the paperwork associated with it. Absolutely hated it. I wanted to spend my time creating and delivering lessons, not doing pointless paperwork. And my friends and colleagues that taught at the same school were the same, so we decided to write a piece of software. And the outcome of that was the idea of some kind of web-based tool that helped them to manage the process of school improvement. And that's what School Centre is. It's a web environment where head teachers can manage the process of management.
Head teacher Gillian Greenwood finds that the software is the perfect tool for her all-inclusive management style at St Newlyn East Primary in Newquay, Cornwall.
You can include within the programme all of the people that you want to be involved in developing your school development plan, which for me is all of the staff in the school, all of my governors, parents and now even children.
Across the county in Helston, John Vipond is also enjoying School Centre's benefits. He can easily locate his school improvement plan without having to search through endless files, gathering dust in his office.
We don't need lots and lots of files. We now have it in a central place. We don't have to worry where that's stored. We know exactly where it's stored. And I think by having a good format which is flexible, it's easy to put information in there, and that does indeed save a lot of workload.
Putting action plans on the system encourages teachers to share their lesson plans as well as ideas for the school's improvement. It also has wider implications for networking across schools.
I've just set up an account at Park Eglos so that he can have a look at my school improvement plan, and then he might be able to give me some tips.
So although the two schools are 31 miles apart, it's easy to communicate and share information between the sites.
I've just signed in to Gil's site, and I'm going to click on her school improvement plan, and I'll have a look and see if she's done any work on the school inclusion work that she said she was going to be doing earlier. And yes, there is something here under pupil support welfare. Well, I'll take this away and do a bit more work on it. I think I need to discuss it with the rest of my team. She saved me quite a lot of time there. Wonderful.
Since its launch 8 months ago, 12 local education authorities have signed up to School Centre, enabling them to keep up to date with each of their schools' progress remotely at a relatively low price.
Schools pay between £500 a year and £1,000 a year, depending on the size, which for a small school it equates to just a couple of days' supply cover is a similar kind of cost for a hugely time-saving tool.
And it's very secure, using the latest encryption technology so that only permitted users can access it.
Of recent times, I think we've all begun to realise that to work together as colleagues in different schools is far more powerful than promoting a competition between schools. We're into a very strong developing network here in Cornwall on the Lizard Peninsula. That network will have a lot of strength from the fact that we can share information and work between us. So I think it's going to be very, very powerful in terms of bringing people together.
Networking certainly eases the load. It enables schools to share good practice and overall raise standards for children. That's what we're about.
And here's another kind of networking. Science teacher Ken Morris is on his way to College High School in Birmingham to teach maths. But that's not all he's got on his timetable today. Once his lesson is finished, it's straight back into his car again to drive 10 minutes down the road to his main school, Hampstead Hall, where he's got another class of students waiting for him.
At College High, I teach 3 lessons, which is 3 hours, but in real terms, I'm there for about a day and a half. At Hampstead Hall School, I teach 6 lessons, and I'm there for the rest of the time. It's more than just going into College High and teaching at College High. It's networking with the teachers there and with the management there. That's what the whole project is about.
Hampstead Hall was called in to partner College Hill, primarily to improve on their poor GCSE results. This has resulted in extra teaching and management support for College Hill since September 2004.
It's been fantastic at this stage to have as much collaboration as we've had and to help us as a school to get, if you like, back on our feet. Where we were short of staff, it's helped reduce the load on some of our staff because we were able to use Hampstead Hall staff to support our staff in the teaching, especially in maths and science.
Yep.
They've also initiated a teaching partnership system, which has taken some pressure off the staff.
Also, the preparing and the sharing of resources and information and worksheets and planning of lessons has been very important.
OK, we're on the last lap of our coursework. If I draw the cumulative frequency, I'm not going to draw it accurately, but you'd expect most cumulative frequencies to look like that.
Yeah, it's a lot better having 2 different teachers because you can talk to 2 different people. So you get 2 opinions.
You're actually...
One does coursework with us and one does revision techniques with us, and we learn 2 different things, which is better.
And I think that's like a good thing, really, because you can get like 2 different ways of teaching in a space of 1 week.
So the students are happy, but what about the teachers?
The impact of the partnership with the College High School and Hampstead Hall has raised the morale of the staff in science dramatically.
The professional development that colleagues have got out of it, you can't put a price to it. You've got to experience it to actually get the true value.
Meanwhile, Ken Morris has finished at College High and is on his way back to Hampstead Hall.
You've got to make sure you're organised and you've got all your equipment ready and you know exactly what you're doing, and particularly on a Friday, the timescale is tight, so I've got to be in, teach and almost out in order to get back to Hampstead Hall on time.
Already, attendance at College High has gone up.
Students' sort of ambition and motivation has drastically improved, and also the reputation of the school has improved. So I think for College High School, I think it's the only way is up at the moment.
Presently, College High is the main beneficiary, but the plan is to develop the partnership to ease the load in both schools. Hampstead Hall will gain extra teaching support as well.
I think that the future of schools is to work in partnerships and to work closely together.
I hope you can take away some of the ideas there. Remember, if you do need any advice or support, you can call the Teacher Support Line free 24 hours a day. Call them on 08000 562 561. See you next time.